Hello and welcome to the Mystery Polygon. This is an on your own problem, which means you should have solved the entire problem on your own, and now you're watching this video just to make sure you did everything correctly. Without further ado, let us move on to our scenario. Alan Clintock, the animal collector, just caught Enzo the Enforcer. Right there is Enzo, and look at that face. He is enforcing things. He is making sure no one picks on his friends. Listen to this. Enzo was protecting his Tiger Trigonometry School from bullies who like to pick on the smart tigers when Alan, that's right, Alan Clintock, trapped him within this coordinate grid right there, my friends. Only you can save Enzo. Solve the following questions, and Alan Clintock, that bad boy, will have to return Enzo the Enforcer to his Tiger Trigonometry School, where he can keep all of the tigers that are learning stuff safe from big bad bullies. Alrighty, the very first thing you should have done is to graph the following points. You have A, B, C, and D. And let's go ahead and graph those right now. For A, you have -6, 4. So on our x-axis, we're going to first go back -6 and then go into the positive 4 places. So we'll plot our point right there. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So once again, I'm going to go -6 and then +4. And then I'm going to plot that point right there, my friends. And that is going to be point A. So let's go ahead and write that in there. Point A, and it is -6, +4. And that goes in parentheses. And that is exactly what your paper should look like. All right, let's move on and look at point B. Point B is at 0, 4. So we don't move at all on the x-axis, but we are going to go up 4 and plot our point right there. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to stay on 0 here and just go straight up to 4 and plot that point right there. And we'll make a big old dot right there. And this is going to be point B. So I'm going to label this B. And it was at 0, 4. And that goes in parentheses. And this right here is what B should look like. It should be up 4 on this line right here. Superb, my friends. Let's move on and see what we're going to do next. Now for C, we're going to go +6, -2. So we're going to go on the x-axis in +6 and then down into the -2 places right there. Let's go ahead and plot that point. So I'm going to enlarge this so I have a little bit more room. And once again, into the +6 and then down into the -2. So our point will go right there, my friends. And now I'm going to enlarge this so I have a little bit more room. And we'll write C is at +6, -2. And that goes in parentheses. And once again, this is what your grid so far should look like. You got A, B, and C down there. And let's go ahead and look and see where D ends up being. And D is at -6, -2. So I'm going first into the -6 and then down into the -2 places. And let's go ahead and do that right now, my friends. So once again, I'm going to go -6, -2, and my point's going to go right there. So let's go ahead and plot that point right there. And that, my friends, is going to be point D. So let's go ahead and write D here, and that is in parentheses. We're going to put -6, -2, and bam, there you have it. And right there, look at that. We are done. We got point A, B, C, and D all completed, and that's what your paper should look like. Now let's move on to problem 2, and we need to connect all the points going in alphabetical order. So we're going to go from A to B to C to D, and then back on up to A. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So if I do that, I'm going to grab the green color here and go straight across from A to B, then straight on down from B to C, then straight across from C to D. However, I did go from D to C, but same thing, right? And now, finally, we're going to go from D on up to A, and just draw my line straight up like that, and bam! That right there is what your paper should look like, connecting all the points from A to B to C to D and back on up to A again. Let's go ahead and look and see what we're going to do here for problem 3. What is the distance from point A to point B? So right here from point A to point B, and we're going to just solve that right now. So now if I do this, I can do it once again in 2 different ways. I can simply count the points right now, or the lines rather. Once again, reviewing this, this is 1 square unit. So if I go from here to here, it's 1 linear unit, right? So let's count, and we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So if I do that, that's actually our answer. So right down here, we'll write 6 units. And bam, there is your answer. That's what you should have written. However, I do like to look at this one other way of looking at it, right? So let's come on up here, and if we look at our coordinates, I've got -6. So I've really got the absolute value of -6 here. And I'm going to just write that in here. I'm going to use black, and I'm going to write the absolute value of -6. And that's represented by these 6 marks here. It's also represented right here, right? And then I've got the absolute value of 0 because I went 0 places on the x-axis. So that's another way of thinking it. I could take the absolute value of -6 plus 0, right, from this, and I get actually 6 units, which, as you see, agrees with our answer down here of 6 units. So either way you did it, whether you looked at the absolute value of this plus the 0, you would get 6 units, or you could have actually just counted from point A to point B. Either one, you should have 6 units. But wait 1 minute, my friends, because I also want to show you how this would work if you used your coordinates. So for here, for A, I've got -6, 4, which was -6 and +4. And for B, I've got 0 and 4. So I'm 0, I don't move at all on the x-axis, and then I move up 4 on the y-axis. So right here I have my x-axis, and here I have my y-axis. Now, as you notice here on y, it's 4 and 4. That's because both of these are up 4. They're both on this line here. So there is 0 difference, and that's why I got the 0 there. From 4 to 4, there's no difference at all, right? Now, from the x-axis, I've got the absolute value of -6, right? Plus the absolute value of 0, which is represented right here. There's no value at all there. It's not moving into the positive or into the negative, right? It's just 0. So if I take the absolute value of -6 and 0, I get 6. And 6 and 0 gives you a total of 6 units. And that is what it would look like if you solve this using your coordinates, my friends. Finally, let's look at our last question here. What kind of polygon is Enzo the Enforcer trapped within? And the answer is trapezoid, my friends. The definition of a trapezoid is a quadrilateral. So this is a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides and it is a polygon, right? But it is a polygon. I'm sorry, I can't even say it. A trapezoid with 2 parallel sides, right? So you've got only 1 pair of parallel sides. This line is parallel with this line. However, this line is not parallel with that line, right? So once again, this is parallel with this, and that makes that a trapezoid, my friends. However, if you wanted to be super duper specific, you would call this a right trapezoid, and this is why. Right here, this is a perpendicular angle here, or a right angle, or otherwise known as a 90-degree angle. And because of that angle, this is called a right trapezoid. And bam, hopefully you got this all correct. So Enzo the Enforcer is free to go back to his Tiger Trigonometry School and keep all those students safe. However, as always, if you made a mistake anywhere along the way, no worries at all, my friend. Pause that video, fix that mistake. That is your fastest way to learn. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon.